Hello Brothermans, welcome back to another video. Now that we're all settled in and leveled up a few traders, it is time to figure out how to make a ton of rubles. These are the routes I have used this wipe exclusively to upgrade my hideout, and I'm currently using to stock up on GPUs for my Bitcoin farm. I have 3 different routes for you, all of them fairly safe, and one of them is for all the scavengers, so that one is literally free. I will show you the scav run last, so if you want to jump to that, check the timestamps down below. As usual, when gearing up, try to go in as light as possible. The routes I'm showing you are not very contested, so you do not have to wear the best armor and carry the best guns. When investing into the kit, I would put most of my money into the backpack and bring an extra rig inside of your backpack as well. This way you can carry out more loot and make more money. The 2 other runs are on shoreline. Don't worry, we're not going into resort, so no keys are necessary. You will most likely not encounter many players. But do not forget to bring money for the car extract. It speeds up the loot run a lot and allows you to make more money in the long term. What are those 2 runs? One of them is the smuggler's base on the northeastern side of the map. The other one is the southwestern village, both on the complete opposite sides of the map. Once you load into shoreline, you will pick the run based on your spawn. Neither one of the runs should take you more than 10 minutes unless you get into extended fights or get a really bad spawn, which is quite rare in my experience so far. Basically split the map in half, and depending on which side you spawn on, you will go for that route on that side of the map. Both are equally as profitable, I would say, but the village route has a ton of jackets, which means potentially you could make a ton of money by just finding a rare key. But I think I've covered everything now, so let's hop into the first route on shoreline. At the end of each route, I will show you how much money I made by selling everything to the flea market and how much I paid in the flea market fees, so we can get an idea of actual profit made as well. Alrighty, so as you can see, we got a perfect spawn for our village route. So let's go to the village. Quite often you spawn here, or you can spawn on top of the rocks there. All times I would, go to the village. If you really want, you could run across the map and go to the smuggler's camp. But I wouldn't recommend it. Village is a lot of money, and I literally I did a loot run right before this, and I found 2 keys total worth like 1.5 mil. So a lot of money to be made in the village. Do not sleep on it. So here's my loadout as well. I didn't show that. Tri-zip. An extra rig in the backpack. As you can see, it gives you 24 slots, but it takes 12. And the same rig in the tactical rig slot as well. You run into the village, and the first shack on the left here has a jacket. This time, unfortunately, we just have some money. You have a hidden stash right here. This quite often just doesn't spawn in, I've noticed, but when it's here, always check it, of course. Croutons are money, I believe. They are for the Tushanka craft. Run into the house right here. You have a single jacket. Not worth much. Check the cupboard here. Duffel bag there. Toolbox there. And duffel bag here. You have a lot of duffel bag and like toolbox spawns in this village. And I think there's a toolbox or duffel bag right here as well. This time not very lucky in that department, but it's okay. We run out the house. We go to the right here. Past the wheelbarrow into the shack here. You have another toolbox. And in case you're wondering, like, this is a extremely safe run. Run out the door and to the left here. This is a very safe run. I've run into 2 people in this village throughout the whole wipe. Run into this garage here, a toolbox right here, and a toolbox spawn right here. Unfortunately, this time we got very unlucky. And inside of this store, you also have another toolbox right there, which... And we're getting really unlucky. Check the shelves. And industrial loot here as well. Keep an eye out on the shelves. You might find something of value here every now and then. The alkali is worth a couple of bucks, I'm sure. Yeah, getting very unlucky with the toolboxes. Anyway, run out the door here. Go to the left. We'll circle around and we'll loot all the buildings here as well. Keep your eyes peeled in this section here. You got a couple of scav spawns here. Also, if you come from that other side, when there's scavs like on the road there, they can shoot you through bushes. They're playing Tarkov. Nothing works in this game. Run to the left side, through the fence, and into the first shack here. You have another jacket. Not lucky this time. And out the shack and to the left over here, you got a couple of toolboxes. One right here and one right there. They are not 100% spawn, unfortunately. But always worth the check. Have some footsteps here. If you hear footsteps, take care of them. First chance you get, it's always good to get rid of them. Where is he going? We have scavs yelling over there as well. I like to take care of the scavs as fast as I can. They get very annoying. So I checked this. I can't remember if I checked this as well. I didn't. So check the one in here as well. Duct tape is good. T-plug, I don't think it's worth money. Also, don't expect to know every single price off the top of your head every single time. They change pretty drastically throughout the whole wipe. Run into the house. There's 2 jackets right here. And that guy is yelling at me again. Hopefully he pushes inside. I would like to take care of him. And there we go. He's not there. I'm just... Usually I would go take care of him, but I want to get through this video at a reasonable pace. So come through the gate. And in through the door right here. You have another jacket. And unfortunately this time we only got a couple of rubles. Out the door, and actually we're gonna go check the shack here. As you can see, there's no toolbox here, but once you step in, it spawns in. Once again, you know, Tarkov. But nothing else spawns in here as far as I know. I don't think I've ever seen something. And inside of this bush here, we have another hidden stash. MREs are good. You need those for humanitarian supplies, so they go up in price. Usually if I find a gun, I don't really take it unless it's like something decent. Because, you know, it's extra weight, and the lighter you are, the easier time you have carrying all the loot out. But if you want, obviously, feel free to carry it out as well. And, now this key is bugged. If it wasn't bugged, it would probably be worth a lot of money. Right now, it's like 40, 50k, but it is bugged, unfortunately. So, running through the door. 2 jackets right here, as you can see. I don't know why I rechecked them. Brain problem, I guess. And out the door and cross the road to the next building. We turn left right here, and through the door you have another jacket, and then open the door before you check this jacket. Not too lucky here. And then you have a duffel bag right here, and right here. Or not a duffel bag, sorry, a med bag. But obviously I'm recording, so I'm not getting very lucky today. Run in through the door here, and you got another couple of jackets. Good thing about this route is that jackets are always where they're supposed to be. You know, duffel bags and toolboxes, they like to move around a bit, but the jackets are always there. And this building has a ton of duffel bag spawns as well. The most I've seen, I think, is probably like 6 duffel bags in here. Fleece is money because you wipe the floor with it, unless it's dropped in price recently. And it can be very tedious to loot all the duffel bags and stuff, I know, but you're here to make money and you gotta go through the motions, unfortunately. Food water is decent. You know, if you find stuff like hot rods, squash, you know, those are like big money food items as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And there is a chance for a duffel bag right there upstairs as well. Sometimes I skip this because I'm just too lazy to run up here, but like I said, sometimes you gotta go through the motions, especially if you have space left over as well. We go out the door, and then we go left here. Behind the house, and into this little shack slash garage thing here. Workshop, whatever you want to call it. And here you have a duffel bag, toolbox, duffel bag, and toolbox here, and then you have this big toolbox right here. But like I said before, unfortunately, sometimes stuff doesn't spawn in. Sometimes you get very lucky and you get a ton of toolboxes as well. And toolboxes can be a lot of money. Unfortunately, kite is not worth much at the moment. Make space for this, and then we run back out. And inside of this building here, on the left, I want to say there's a duffel bag here somewhere. But upstairs here, you have a loose loot spawn somewhere over here. And then duffel bag there and there, I believe. We go out, we turn left here. Always check the corners. I know I said it's safe, but you know, people move around and you never know. I don't know if I mentioned, but I've throughout my whole time I've done this raid, this wipe, I've seen 2 players. Weapon box inside of the greenhouse here. AK-105, it's like 30-40k, and I'm already carrying a tank battery, so I'm gonna leave it behind. Because otherwise I'll be forced to use like a mule, and that is like 150,000, so, you know, not worth it. Come around here, toolbox on the bench here. And that's another thing, stims can cut into your profits as well. Like if you get a spawn on the coast, like around the water, I use an SJ6, you know, just to get around quicker. Check it behind the door here, check it around the corner right here as well. So don't be afraid to use stims, you know, they cut into your profits, but they also make you go through the raids a little faster, so I would say it's worth it. And then you got another 2 jackets in here. As you can see, we're already stacking up a nice chunk of loot here. And we're only like halfway through it. And you got a duffel bag right there, and right here in the corner as well. And as you can see, I don't bring a lot of mags into this either. I'll put this away. Ibuprofen is worth money. And if you find stuff like chocolates, I don't have any sugars, but you know, sugars, chocolates, those things go up in price later. Water filters, GM counters or whatever they're called, the yellow things, you know, they go up in price over the course of the wipe, so you might want to hold on to them for a little bit. Once you're done here, you go through the gap right here, and then you turn left. You have a hidden stash right there, and then right inside of this thing as well. This time we only got 1. Sometimes you don't get either one, so just be aware that might happen. And like I said, this area, scavs like to shoot you through bushes, so be careful. And I'm already pretty chunky, but I don't want to do my mule or Abdolbos that I found either. Loose loot on the bottom there. Also, by the way, I guess I have to mention, just run across the road into this building. Actually, I don't know why I had to mention that. You can probably see it yourself. And weapon box here, and I've never seen any loot down there, so apparently there's loot on the floor there as well. Grenade launcher decent, and loose loot on the shelf there as well. Come out through the back, turn left here, and vault over the fence. And then we're gonna run into the house right here. Get a couple of jackets, and you have 2 loose spawns. And here are the jackets. I don't know how I dropped that. I did not press anything. Screwdriver is another one of those items that is for the toolset barter. Loose loot right here on the fridge, and then on the counter there. So I think I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but screwdrivers, wrenches, pliers, you know, those are the items required for the toolset barter, so they are up in price right now a lot. Toolbox right there and right there, and nothing in here. Unfortunately, no toolboxes either. Come through the fence here. Okay, I'm gonna mule up, because I don't want you guys to watch me limp for 10 minutes. Obdolbos 2 is a cheaper alternative, though, if you do need to increase your weight limit. But run all the way to the back here. And you should have 2 toolbox spawns right there. Unfortunately, once again, not very lucky this time. This door spawns closed, but sometimes scavs spawn in there or they walk in there. So don't be too alarmed if you see that opened. And same with this shack here as well. But we walk in, once again, shack it here, and then we go to the little room on the back. Loose loot here, on here, and then here as well. Might be a toolbox or a duffel bag somewhere over there as well. And then in here, you have a duffel bag and a toolbox back here. Once again, not very lucky. And then you have more stuff up here and loose loot here. And duffel bag here and somewhere over here as well. And for some reason there's blood here, which is a little weird. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there or not. Now I'm a little worried. It is what it is. Run across the road. This shack here, just a jacket, nothing inside. Pretty sure there used to be like spawns on the floor, but I haven't seen any. Then you got a toolbox up here and a toolbox right there. And by the way, if you don't feel comfortable running this map or you just this route in general, go into an offline raid if you can. I know, like, you know, BSG doing his thing with restricting it, but if you can, just go into offline and just follow me along. You go through it once and you'll feel much comfortable in an actual raid with it. And here's the AA battery. Those are worth money. And a bunch of duffel bags, and I'll drink the water. And toolbox here as well. Toolbox there, there. You have a duffel bag right here, and back there has a couple of spawns as well. Fortunately, we are at the end, so as you can see, we are filling our pockets a little bit. We'll take that. But we are running out of space. Also, be aware Mule takes some of your health as well. See if I can drop anything in here. I think this is a better deal. And that's pretty much the route done in the village. Yep, some loose spawns on the logs here as well. Nothing in here. As you can see, we got some nuts, but it could be anything. Could be a wrench, could be tool set, whatever, you know, that type of stuff. And now we just go to path to Lighthouse, and that extract is always open for you, no matter where you spawn. It is there 100% of the times. I've been in this raid a long time, by the way. But I guess it takes your time if you're explaining everything. If I do this alone, you know, I go night raids, I run through this like 10 minutes tops. Unless, like I said before, like if you get into a fight with like scavs and they hurt you, or you just carry loads of stuff, you know, it could get heavy. And obviously that determines the time you spend in raid as well, but even for 15 minutes, you know, this raid is... We're making a lot of money out of this. I'm gonna put on the screen right now, actually, how much we made. And I guess we'll just run to the extract just to show you. But that's pretty much the route completed, and then we can move on to the other side of the map. Alright, finally I got a spawn I was looking for, but I've been trying to get the spawn. Actually, I ended up dying at some point, but here we are on the northeastern spawn, so we're gonna run straight up into the camp. This camp is getting a little more popular now, so you are probably gonna run into a player every now and then, but for the most part, it's fairly safe. I would highly recommend you do this at night time as well, both of these runs actually. You can get the N15 NVGs probably for like 100,000 rubles at this point. It shouldn't be that expensive from the flea market straight up, so keep that in mind. Nighttime is a little safer, but daytime you should be okay as well. But people are gonna be getting the quest to come here now, so they might be more interested. But run into the little ruins area here and run along the wall on the right side. And then on the ground here you have some loose loot. You can see right here. I've had a scav like come up through here and one-tap me before, so be aware of that. And we got a couple of scavs there. Why are you guys spawning? Like, I never find scavs here when I need them. Anyway, run around the corner, run up to where the GL is. You get a couple of weapon spawns here. You can find like scopes and M995 apparently. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. And over here you can find like long range scopes and so on. You got a toolbox here and loose loot on the floor. Nuts aren't worth that much money, so I'll leave them behind. To be fair, the duct tape isn't that expensive either, but old habit, I guess. Chicken here. Once again, this pad is worth a couple of bucks, and you can get like scopes here as well. On the chair there and on the table, some weapon parts that might be worth picking up. Got a few scavs yelling at me there. We're gonna ignore them. We're gonna run through the container on the left here. And we run through here. Inside of here you have a suitcase, toolbox here, and on the floor here you can get loose loot, like on the trash bags as well. This time we got nothing. Around the corner here on the box, some industrial loot. Beware of the scabs. Run over this. On the floor here, you have some loose loot. And you have a jacket right here as well. Cross over to this side. On the table, you got some loot. Metal parts, not worth that much. To be fair, the nails aren't worth that much either, but I need some of them for a barter, so I'll scoop them up. They might go up in price as well. And they probably will. Check the ration supply case. Nothing worth taking here. I have a weapon case here as well. Or the... And you guys are annoying. Research. Play was not too bad. Run to the left here on the table. As you can see, you got a motor. Just industrial spawns on the table here and right here as well. Sometimes they can clip into the like the paper and whatnot, so be aware of that. Thermite's decent. Pick all this stuff up here on the tables. You got some food spawns here and more industrial spawns inside of this paper. So make sure you hover over, because sometimes you can find stuff like, I don't know, like matches or something. Might be worth money, and they can just be hidden in there. And unless you check, you won't be able to find them. I feel like this is a player running in. Never mind, it's just scabs. I got excited. I got excited, boys. What can I say? Alright, shelves here for some loot stuff, and then the ration supply crate here I showed you already. I have never seen that many scabs here either. Like, you usually get like 2 scabs tops. No, I'm not sure what's happening today. Check the tables here. These screwdrivers like 60, 70, 80k. And then I think this shelf is not worth checking. Well, let's carry on and run up the hill here. Beware of the scabs. You can check up here for weapon parts. During the daytime, I skip it though. I don't wanna get shot. It's a little bit risky. Toolbox here, and then on the shelves here, as you can see, we got you got all kinds of industrial stuff. And then table, some weapon parts. Over here, more barter items, industrial. I don't even know what to call them. I guess barter items would be the best. Move this stuff around a little bit and pick this up. And then back here on the table, make sure you like hover over the shelves as well, because you might not spot like an all or something. I got a few jacket spawns here. Most I've seen I think is 3 jackets. SSD, not too bad. Run into this container here. Check the floor, check the table. And another table here. And then check around the corner here as well. And up here, these WD-40s I think are still in the money. They went for like 40, 50k at some point. I assume they're still worth. Got a suitcase here. This isn't here always, so just be aware of that. You get some food spawns on the table. Sometimes you find like an MRE. And then check on top of this here. And on top of here. There's something here. Metal parts, don't care about them. And then underneath the table here as well. Yeah, I'll pick them up for now. I got the space. Then run across. And the more table here. As you can see, you got a scope. This is mostly weapon parts. I'll check here as well. And a tool set. This is big money. This is like 300,000 rubles. And I don't even have space for it. So what I'll do is... Then what do I do? We do this. A little bit of Tetris might be involved in these raids. It is what it is. Check the tables. And here on top of this pot, or like stuck in the side of the top of the fridge, you can find like moonshines and stuff. Oh my lord. Not very good at aiming, I guess. But run outside. Check on the floor here. Behind the bus. Or not the bus, the van. And then inside of here as well. And then check on the floor. Like in front of the van. Between the pickup truck and the boxes here. Just keep your eyes on the floor, because there's a lot of loose loot here that you might miss. And then here as well, as you can see. And then I think there's a ration crate. Medical crate, I mean. And now we're at the stage where I have to start sorting stuff, because I just have so much loot on me, so... what do I want to drop? Nothing, really. The screws have gone out of price, so I guess I'll drop that stuff. And gold chain is worth, you know, hose is like 100k still. Thermite is like 150. I hope WD-40 is worth something still. We have another suitcase here, I believe. Run inside of here. You have a jacket spawn here. Some weapon parts, and I think a weapon box here at some point as well. And you got some food over here. I need this for a quest, so I'll pick it up. I'll drink my rat cola. I always bring a rat cola in my raids. So we'll take that for a ref. Some weapon parts here. Turn to the right inside of this little hut here. More loot. I think I'll... Man, I don't even know. It's not easy choosing this loot like that. I'll take the WD-40. I think it's worth money. Loot loot here as well. You got a weapon box, and you have another medical crate right here. Actually, I don't know why I have this. That's not worth money, I don't think, at all. Salewa there, of course. And I was about to say I never see a toolbox here anymore, but here it is. The first time I found one this way. But it's here, boys. I'm not taking the nuts, though. Now we move on this way. If you're doing this with friends, you might have extra space left over. You might want to go down the range there. There's weapon parts, gun spawns, and some bullets and stuff like that. I'm not going to go there, because as a solo, you don't need to go there. You have more than enough loot, and it's a bit risky. Loose loot here. And here as well. And then you have a toolbox spawn here as well. And then we're just going to run across the field here. As you can see, we've been in this raid for almost 11 minutes now. So I guess I lied about the 10 minutes thing. But still relatively fast and relatively safe, I'd say, as well. So let's run across here. I do have a full bag, so I would just generally go and take the car. But there's a couple loot spawns here, so check for a hidden stash. Loose loot on this pallet here. Inside here you got some spawns, like here, some food and more barter items. In here you have a toolbox with some loot spawns. Take the WD. Over there as well, some more barter items. Hose we'll definitely take. What do we drop it for though? Or drop for it, rather. I'll drop this. A lot of mental gymnastics, like trying to figure out what to keep and what to sell. So you definitely want to have as big of a bag as possible to eliminate yourself, or eliminate the problem of having to do that a lot. Now these batteries are like gone down in price. They used to be like 20-30k, but now they're like 8,000-9,000. Even more loot. I'm gonna drop one of the WD-40s because... or two of them. Just to diversify a little bit. I'm not sure if the WD-40s are still in money. A couple days ago, they went for like 50-60k. Iskra there. Honestly, I can't be asked. I'm just gonna leave. But that's the route completed. Once again, I'll put on the screen how many bigger rubles we made. Also, there is a suitcase there. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's about it. So run to the car, pay your fee, and get yourself out of here. As you can see, 30 minutes right now. It's gonna be 14 minutes once I'm actually gone. If I do this alone, you know, I don't have to explain stuff. I will be a little quicker. 10-11 minutes is doable if you have decent enough strength and you don't find anything too heavy. Alrighty, and here we are in a scav raid. Now, scav raids are a bit random because you never really know what you can get in terms of gear. We got a duffel bag, we got a tiny rig, so we're gonna have to make it do here. And we're gonna run straight into the Goshen office, which is our first stop. Now, I only do the office if I spawn on this side. If I don't, I don't really bother going out of my way to loot the PCs over there, but you can if you want. Or you can skip them altogether if you want as well, but, you know, GPUs are kind of nice. They're gonna go up in price by a big margin soon enough, I think. Right now, they're around 500k, and they're definitely gonna hit the million mark at some point, so let's run up here. Right here's the office. Check the first door on the left. You get a PC spawner right there, which is always worth checking if you're coming here. Drop the stun. DVD player I don't think is worth much. Run around here. PC around here somewhere. That doesn't exist this time. Here and here as well. Once again, no PC. And should be here, and then we have one here. Only 2 PCs in the whole here area. That's not a lot, but you know, it is what it is. We got ourselves some wires. Now let's run out the door. And on the left here we have a bunch of food spawns, and food is extremely expensive right now because everyone is doing the holiday only parter. So if you're wondering where we are, this here is the middle tent that leads towards Kiba. Power station is back there outside, obviously, and that should be enough for you to paint a picture of where you are, I think. But get to the side here and start just scavenging on the shelves here. I wouldn't pick up the juice box, it's not worth it. Check this here. Oh man, this looks like it might have been looted. I don't think the vitamin juice is worth much anymore. It was a barter for some quest key, I think a bunkhouse key. Maybe it is worth something, but I don't think it's worth much anymore. I'll drop it later if I need space. But basically just go through the shelves here. The main items you're looking for is a squash, herring, rat cola. What else? Regular colas, hot rods. The ice cream tea is not worth much anymore. Looks like someone's gone through this, unfortunately, so all the good stuff is gone. But you know, it is what it is. It's only a small part of this run, and sometimes there isn't a lot of spawns for food. You know, it does happen occasionally. More often than not, though, you're gonna get yourself a full bag of food here, and food and drinks, so... This time we didn't get very lucky, but it's okay because we have more stuff to hit. So here's a squash, for example. That's like 50, 60k alone. The scav player here, I think, is voice lining me, but I'm out of breath. So there's a weapon box here. Worth a check. Well, sometimes you find good stuff in these weapon boxes. I mean, sometimes you don't, but, you know, it is what it is. Keep running to the back here. Avoid players. You know, players, they tend to make you go dead. Keep eyes on the shelves as well. There's not a lot of loot on them, but sometimes you find a Tushanka or something. And here's a weapon box. You got a few toolboxes. This isn't like a loot run to make you like a billion rubles every single time you run it, but it's good to do it every single time you have a scav available and you don't have any plans for the scav. Another weapon box here. Don't think that's worth... That is worth something. That's worth something as well. That goes on a gun even. So, 2 weapon boxes, a toolbox there. Check the table here, some med spawns. Toolbox spawns over there sometimes. And... check back here real quick as well. As you can see, there's a sledgehammer. That's like 270k, but I don't have the space for it. Toolbox spawns on top of this, and then just go along these shelves here. And there's a bunch of stuff, and people don't really loot this ever. There's another sledgehammer there. And you can do this as a PMC as well. Like, don't get me wrong. You don't have to do it as a scav. If you do it as a PMC, there's a better chance you actually get this stuff. That man is very rude, so... fuck him. Check the toolbox here. And I want to say there's a toolbox here as well. Anyway, we run into this container here on the... Over here, there's a toolbox spawn. And you have a grenade case here, and you have some other stuff here, and there's also an ammo case here, I believe. So this wave here is worth a couple of rubles. Unfortunately, we're bleeding. So this guy, obviously not very sharp. I don't want to be rude. It is what it is. Take the helmet. The helmet is worth money. Heals. You can always use heals. Probably bandaged, shouldn't I? And obviously body armor. I don't know why. Hey, wait, why can't I equip this? I can. Okay, cool. So let's drop this, and we'll drop the mayo, and that's it. We'll change the rigs as well. I mean, it's just money. You know, if you don't want to sell everything one by one, you can sell stuff you don't want to sell to traders or to flea market. You can just sell it to defense. So as a scav, I would always recommend picking up an extra gun or whatever, because it is always worth it. And that's it. We're gonna run into the extract. I'm gonna show you how much I would make if I just sold to fence straight up, but I'll also put up on screen how much I end up getting when I sell everything to the flea market. Alright, and if I were to sell everything to fence, I would make 236,000 rubles. I don't want to do that. How much? So that took me 7 minutes. But I am going to sell everything to the flea market and some stuff to the traders, because I'm just too lazy to do it one by one onto the flea market, because people don't buy all this stuff. That's all the loot runs there is. I mean, we made a lot of money. Can't complain, that's for sure.